I'm sure this has happened to you. You get home after a long day at school or work, you turn on your system of preference and sit at your game collection screen, trying to figure out what to play, only to open YouTube and waste your time going down the infinite abyss. You're not sure if you've gotten older or if the games have gotten worse. Maybe it's both. This is a reoccurrence in my life often enough, and it makes me wonder if games are still my favorite hobby. I'm here to tell you that you are still just as passionate about your hobby as I am, but you just need to figure out a new way to tackle it. Gaming shouldn't be a chore, I get it, but I would be lying if I said that creating a new way to find and play games wouldn't help. I realized that my Game Pass Ultimate subscription was hurting my ability to complete my backlog because of choice paralysis. So, I chose to downgrade my subscription to Game Pass Core. Doing this allowed me to focus on the games I own in my digital and physical libraries. I narrowed down the number of games I wanted to play down to 4. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, and Oblivion. Once you have your shortlist completed, figure out why you want to play these games. Is it because they are popular and you want to try them? Is it because something in the trailers spoke specifically to your tastes? Or is it because you need to experience something different? For me, it was all of the above. So, I started with Mass Effect. Why Mass Effect? This is one of the franchises that I heard so much about that I just never experienced. With that in mind, I played through the first one about a year ago, via the Legendary Collection, and it didn't click with me. Then I started the second one, and that's when I got hooked. It was the companion quest lines that won me over. As I continued to play, the world became more and more fleshed out, and the decisions I made carried such a weight. So much so that I unknowingly finished the game, and a substantial chunk of my crew was killed at the end, and those consequences carried over into the next game. I've never seen a game series where the actions you took in the previous games have ramifications so significant that the story adapts in that way. It makes you realize that the 7th gen of gaming was really something special, and now we have to wait 5+ years for games to even get sequels. Unfortunately, my decisions became worse in the third game and everyone died, but I plan on fixing that by restarting my playthrough of the trilogy really soon. The next game on my list is Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree. I'm very bad at Souls games, and Elden Ring is no different, but with the help of a friend I made it through the first Elden Ring, and now 2 years later I have returned. I've not finished the DLC yet, but I am having a pretty solid time with it because of the way you experience these games. The environments are so beautiful, the art style is chef's kiss, and the ways that you can tackle all of your opponents is just crazy. When I get this done, I plan to do some sort of retrospective review of the series, but overall, I'd recommend the game, especially if you like a good challenge. I'd love to talk about this game more, but the lore is way too complex for me to explain. But if you're interested, there's plenty of YouTubers out there who can explain the details of Elden Ring and its majesty more than I could. But let's talk about 2020's greatest failure and 2023's greatest comeback. Cyberpunk 2077. A game that everybody and their mother was excited for. This game absolutely should not have released on 8th gen hardware, but it did. Some people defended this game to the death, and I can see why, but only after the game got its first proper next gen upgrade. This game was not worth playing at launch, but I can happily say that Cyberpunk is a must-play in 2024. Night City just sucks me right in. The environments are so beautiful and makes me want to put on my synthwave playlist. The story is the standout here. It's a beautiful story about fighting to live while your personality is slowly overwritten by Johnny Silverhand. The characters you meet and interact with are written so well, and oftentimes the animations you see look so realistic and lifelike that you will feel that you are living what you see instead of playing it. Your choice at the end is not an easy one. so choose wisely. Finally, what the hell made me want to go back to Oblivion? Well, here's why. Skyrim is one of my top 5 games of all time. Without Oblivion, there is no Skyrim, and for the time, Oblivion was just as groundbreaking as its successor was, so I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Also, during this time, the Xbox 360 store had weeks left to live, so I wanted to go back and play some of this game on the Xbox 360 through the eyes of a CRT. I mainly tackled the main story while I was sucked in many times. I will say the Oblivion gates were very repetitive, but I still understood the importance of what was going on and eventually it started to click. Yes, this game is very dated and yes, it is your typical Bethesda game, but I know what I signed up for and I love it for all these things. I would recommend you go out of your way to try it, at least on PC or Xbox One X or higher, because it runs at near 4K. Otherwise, the game can look pretty rough, unless you like the CRT experience like I do. Before I go, I want to tell you about this app that helped me create the list of games that I wanted to play. Game Track is an app that allows you to sync your progress across various platforms and tracks your progress via achievement. It also allows you to place games in a queue of some kind for future experiences. Game Track is not sponsoring me, I just wanted you to know this, but it is a very useful tool that helps me manage my games. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for my next video. But until then, I'm Jack, and I'll be back.